pleasant summer day as we are set for football at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. Butker now to kick this one away. Here's the man who's led the league in rushing twice in 3 seasons, Ezekiel Elliott. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. For Zeke, what a first 3 years he's had in the NFL. Last year, his second rushing title, 1,434 yards. Not as many as 1,631 that he had as a rookie, but still his yards per game average was the best in the National Football League. Eluding the pressure right. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
On third down, it's Prescott. And this one hauled in by Tavon Austin. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a first down.
Well, peel back the curtain, partner. We've got a pretty good look into how they plan to play this game. Aggressive seems to be the word. Going for it on fourth down in that situation.
Yeah, opening drive. Now, we know this coaching staff, they have traits of aggression in their history, but what a start to this game. They're going for it.
Yeah, a lot of people might say reckless, but they got it. 1 for 1 on fourth down here early in the game. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Dak dropping this one off for Zeke. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Third and short yardage. Prescott flush to his right. He can run for it, and he will. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. On second down, Elliott. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. Going right side, he has Witten. And a loose football. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down.
Here we go. Alpha. Mike, 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Mahomes going to throw. That's caught. It's Demarcus Robinson. 12 yards there and a first down. Mahomes now on first down. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back. I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the mechanics are off or if they make a bad throw, that they go to that place to get themselves back in sync.
Watch 54. Watch 54. Yeah. Mike, spot 4. Let's go.
Throwing is Mahomes on third. He's got his man. It's Williams. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 38-yard line.
Hey, Ridley.
On first and 10, here's Mahomes. It's caught on the right side, Williams. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. He got 29 yards that time. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember...
And that is caught! Touchdown, Kansas City! Tyreek Hill there to make the grab. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And before the Cowboys get going here on this drive, the big news for them all summer, if you're a fantasy player, I'm sure you've been paying attention to it as well. Ezekiel Elliott not reporting to the team. He's been down in Cabo working out. And Jerry Jones, don't laugh.
I'm laughing, right?
Why, because you don't work out in Cabo?
He's in Cabo working out.
I know.
That sentence has never been used before.
Well, how about this Jerry Jones quote? You don't need a rushing champion to win a Super Bowl.
And Zeke's camp is saying, okay, you may have to prove that. Because for Jerry Jones, he's saying, listen, we've signed Alfred Morris, who's been a proven running back in the league. But that was a few years ago. They drafted Tony Pollard out of Memphis, who they're very high on, but he's not a bell cow runner. Darius Jackson, also not a bell cow runner. The way their offense works and works best is Zeke takes the bulk of the carries, catches a few out of the backfield, takes the pressure off of Dak Prescott. They may have to change their offense a bit if they don't get this resolved.
By the way, going back to the Jerry Jones statement, only 2 guys who've won a rushing title and a Super Bowl the same year. Emmitt Smith did it 3 times and Terrell Davis once in '98 with the Broncos.
And who did Emmitt Smith play for when he did it 3 times?
The Cowboys.
And who ran the team?
Jerry Jones.
Okay.
Pass on target, Prescott to Cooper. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. Looking back to Cooper's numbers from last year after that trade, he ended up playing 9 games with the Cowboys in 2018. 725 yards, 6 scores. Also had the 100-yard game in the playoffs against the Rams. And if you add up the numbers between the two teams last year, he was over 1,000 for the 3rd time in 4 NFL seasons. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Flushed out right. Oh, Prescott stripped, and it's picked up by the Chiefs.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Mahomes. Steps away to his left. And now a fumble. The ball's out. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about any more. Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he gets the 1st down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. A 1st down carry by Elliott. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. On 2nd and 9, Prescott. Pass incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Prescott now. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Of course, the door for Maher was opened after a little bit of a surprise move. The Cowboys letting go of Dan Bailey last year.
Yeah, Maher took over in the preseason. He's from Nebraska via the Canadian Football League where he kicked for 4 years. And I saw him personally make 2 game-winning field goals last season against Detroit and in Atlanta.
And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Chiefs working their way back out here on offense, and probably a good thing, really. Their camp has been relatively quiet. Everybody knows what they have coming back. Maybe some question about their running game. It's a team that has had a bell cow in the past. You think way back to Christian Okoye, the days of Priest, Holmes. I don't know. We'll see how the running game works out this year, Charles.
Can I go way back?
Sure.
Mike Garrett running the football for them. Joe Delaney, who was the Rookie of the Year and lost him, unfortunately, in a swimming accident. But Andy Reid has hinted this summer that he's going to take the dreaded running back by committee approach. Yeah, Damian Williams was a force down the stretch, slowed a little bit by hamstring troubles in camp. Carlos Hyde on his 4th team in 2 years, but what a bruiser inside. And Darrell Williams has been around. Darwin Thompson, 6th-rounder. Even Tremont Smith, who they converted from corner, he's going to carry the ball a little bit, too, in the preseason.
Eluding the pressure right. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he finds a man. That's Watkins. The big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. The big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes, and he delivers a strike complete to Watkins. 2 minutes to play in this first half, 7-3 our score. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jeff Heath. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Here's Prescott. And now Prescott is going to be taken down. He couldn't get away, and that's a safety. So the Chiefs able to force the safety there. I think you probably give an assist to this Kansas City crowd at Arrowhead.
And don't they love it? They love being part of the game and having an influence on the game because they make it awfully difficult to function, especially when you're backed up deep in your own territory. I think there's a little more going on here than just crowd noise, though. But the home field advantage at Arrowhead, definitely that. A big-time advantage.
Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. To throw again on 2nd down, Mahomes. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion.
Yellow.
Mahomes to throw on 3rd and 1. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. They do go for it. It's Mahomes on the move to his left. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Mahomes hit. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
at the 36-yard line.
Hey, 43. Let's go, D. Let's go.
On first down, Mahomes being chased out left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Mahomes will try again on 2nd down. He's going to fire one deep left side. And this is caught inside the 5. And Williams is in for a Chiefs touchdown. Damian Williams, as the first half is winding down, and the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
The extra point up and good. And the lead now stands at 13. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Time now for Patrick Mahomes as we put him in our players. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the 2nd half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the 2nd half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Well, let's have some fun while we have a minute here. Fantasy drafts are in full swing. I know I've got my family fantasy draft coming up, Charles. Who would be your top 3 picks? I know that you're a noted fantasy football expert, so who would you take?
Well, you've got to start with guys who are going to touch the football and put it in the end zone, right? You got to score points. How about Saquon Barkley with the Giants? You know he's going to run it. He's going to catch it. When they get desperate, they may actually have him return it as well. Alvin Kamara is an absolute matchup nightmare for everyone. And Christian McCaffrey, did he ever come off the field last year? And, you know, this guy, he's a threat to be a 1,000-yard runner and a 1,000-yard receiver, as is Kamara. So this is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see those guys do their thing. But there are plenty of other guys out there, too. If Zeke comes along, you got to take him. Melvin Gordon, if they both come to camp, we'll see how that works out. How about Todd Gurley and his health? Because, boy, when he touches the ball, great things usually happen.
And then wondering, someone like Le'Veon Bell took the year off, now a new offense. But if he starts going like he used to, he's obviously going to be a good one.
Fresh legs is what you're counting on with Le'Veon Bell and a fresh start in New York with the Jets. And if you're looking for an exciting rookie, remember this. Kyler Murray's going to get the ball from the first snap, and they're going to leave him in there throughout. And as long as he stays healthy, he's going to pitch it around the park with them.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. After the sack, things get a little tougher here. 3rd and long for Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Easy. Let's see what you got. Check, 55 to Mike.
They go play fake. Mahomes. Looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line. Not that time for Watkins. Well, Charles, if you think so far the early part of the preseason, who has stood out? If you take a peek back at the draft, the first round, it was pretty defensively minded. But there were 3 quarterbacks taken. Kyler Murray first, Daniel Jones 6th, Dwayne Haskins 15th. Of those guys, they've looked pretty good.
I agree with you, Brandon. When you talk about those 3...
Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Cooper was the target there.
Well, from what we've seen thus far, this is not a formula for winning football. When you have more turnovers than points scored, that's a tough way to try and win a game.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they do the interception and finish off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Dancing to his left. Mahomes can sling it, but the feet are nimble, too, as he scrambles for a first down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into his windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw, so maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Attack!
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Flush to his right. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. Mahomes again here on 2nd and 10. He'll buy some time right. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd.
And now offensively, it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now, the play caller's thinking, what have I done before this worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. It's a big run there by Hyde. 42 yards.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. They run again with Hyde on first. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. And between the last 2 plays, they've moved it over half the length of the football field. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down.
Well, they couldn't be happy that they were having to stop a 2-point conversion because that means they gave up a touchdown. But a little solace there. You saw some good gang tackling, stacking him up before he can get to the end zone.
We talk about offensive units putting in more 2-point period sessions in practice. Defensively, do you do the same?
Absolutely. You have to because you never know how aggressive these offenses are going to be in games nowadays. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
I got one. 46.
They start on the ground with Elliott. Elliott a first down and more. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
These Chiefs, of course, no stranger to Amari Cooper when he played for Oakland those first 3+ years. Played KC 2 times a season, being in the same division. Actually had his best game as a Raider against the Chiefs back in 2017 when he had 11 catches, 210 yards, and 2 scores. A good first down call as the screenplay gets him 9.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Throwing. Prescott. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. Alex Okafor. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Frank Clark fighting his way home to get the sack. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They go play action here on 1st down. Complete here. It's Hyde. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. A big play there on the catch and run. 55 yards. Caught left side, Williams.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss. And they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. On 2nd down, Hyde. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Now a run with Hyde. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
You got to get the ball, D. Get the ball right here. Let's go.
Throwing on 2nd down. Mahomes buying time to his left. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. Damian Williams, the man he was looking for. And it's 3rd down. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play. And that is caught by Watkins for a Chief touchdown. Sammy Watkins there to make the grab. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will bump the lead up to 26. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. 10th carry now for Elliott. It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Elliott, and this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the 1st down at the 29. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Now Prescott, throw right side, taken in by Gallup. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Looking to throw, Prescott. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. 20. And he takes it all the way down to the 3.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
A big play there on the catch and run. 45 yards. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score.
Check, 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 check. Showing it, showing it. Wide, get wide. Alert flare, flare.
They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys cut into that lead.
Brandon, I think we have to look back at the big call to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, that set up everything, and the end result, the short touchdown run. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think every coach would have gone for it back there.
You and I both know every coach would not have gone for it back there, so that's showing a little bit of faith, actually showing a lot of faith in his team, and it was rewarded.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. And let's look at Carlos Hyde now. He's toppled the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground, too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver.
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
15.
Back.
Yellow.
On 2nd down, Hyde. He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. 16 yards, a 1st down. Now Hyde. Well, that's a guy, Carlos Hyde, who split time last year in Cleveland and Jacksonville after 4